What's that? Are we switching mountaintops? All right. It looked okay, didn't it? Yeah, David, I think we have a good signal now. We had to switch mountaintops. Hopefully you've got me. The helicopters are key right in here, but the winds are pretty high. We're really getting buffeted around at altitude. They are going to be key because it's tough to get ground crews in there. I'll try and give you a little perspective. We'll open up and come to the right a little bit. Now, the 118 freeway, we can come off SkyMap 7 if you would there. The 118 freeway, all lanes are shut down on the eastbound side. The westbound lanes for the moment are open. But that area right to the right side of your screen and right in the middle of your screen, let's bring up SkyMap 7 once again. We've had some trouble with it acclimating because of the altitude that we're at. We're looking straight down. But Ardenwood Avenue, let's go to the satellite view for a moment, right through that smoke. We can sort of get an idea what is there. So you have that ridge line. If there's any good news, it's not thick, heavy brush. It is sort of brush nestled up in rocky terrain. That certainly will help. And there's also pretty good brush clearance. But we'll come back out to our live shot now and show you what we're looking at. They've made a lot of drops in here. The fire looks like it started right along the 118 freeway and then quickly burned to the south and mostly to the west, right towards the city of Simi Valley. There's a train station in here. There's some commercial structures in here. And then Santa Susana Pass Road, for the moment, is still open. Let's come out just a little bit, and I'll try and give you a little bit of perspective as we open up and show you the city of Simi Valley. There's Simi Valley off to the right of your screen, and we're shooting basically from the San Fernando Valley. And right on the other side of that plume up right there, that loom up on the other side, you can't see it, there's another area in the Newberry Park area that started to take off just moments ago. That doesn't look anything like this, fortunately. I think the highest winds we have, though, are right here in this pass. Out of Van Nuys, it wasn't too bad. We got overhead, and we really started to get rocked. I want to push in there real quick because I'm trying to see if maybe a car started this, if a vehicle overheated. Come to the left a little bit more. And you can sort of see where the origin of the fire was. It looks like, keep coming to the left, Chad. And that's going to be where it started. You can tell from that point the fire burned quickly off towards Simi Valley, which would be to the west. You can see the westbound lanes of the freeway are open, but all eastbound lanes are shut down. And we'll open up one more time. Things look a lot better than they did just a few moments ago. And we'll go to the right. If you were with us, we had thick, heavy black smoke. Now most of it is white smoke. And when we saw in that satellite view, there's not thick, heavy brush in there. There's a lot of rocky terrain. That will help. I'm sure they have ground crews en route to that area of Simi we just showed you a minute ago off of, I believe it was Alderwood, if I'm not mistaken. That would be the closest spot. You see the railroad tracks, and then you see an extremely effective drop there by the County Fire helicopter. They're going to be key. The helicopters right in this area are certainly going to be key to stopping this. Push into that other helicopter. To the right. Okay. See the sky crane? Okay. Oh, come to the freeway right to the right. Look at the semis trying to turn around. That's a pretty cool shot. You want to go further to the, I think that's our best bet. You come this way, just slow it down, almost try and hover if you can. Yeah, there's a stretch of freeway, Chad, if you would come down towards us for a moment on the freeway. Once you get past Cooner, they don't want you to head through there, and so what they're doing is they're just trying to turn this traffic on the bottom of your screen around. They're basically stranded, and once you get past Cooner, you got to get back to Cooner, and then Yosemite is where the hard closure is, but you can see what's happening to folks. They're just not going to let them through. Now, another note, you can see the westbound side of the 118 freeway is open. I think they're going to shut that down as well. There's some talk about that. Also, if you live in this area, a lot of folks may be thinking, well, I'll skip through on Santa Susana Pass Road. That does go through the Santa Susana Pass. Don't do that. I think that's going to be shut down. That's on the top of your screen there. We'll see if SkyMap 7 can actually show us that. You see Santa Susana Pass Road, and that's just not going to work. You can tell that's going to be shut down by CHP real quickly. If they haven't done it yet, they will soon. But I want to come back out to the right and show you a little bit of the area. You see, well, how about we get that helicopter drop real quick, because this is so effective. Just to the left there, I think they're going to make a drop as they head through that smoke. They've been hitting this really hard, and the key is to try and knock this down before it gets too close to those homes or jumps over the railroad tracks and gets into some heavier brush on the south side of the pass itself. We may lose the helicopter in the smoke, so we'll pull out for just a moment and give you a little perspective on where this is. All south of the 118 freeway. But look at how that smoke is laying down over Simi Valley. That's Alderwood down in there, the closest street to the ridgeline. But certainly right now it looks pretty good compared to what we saw earlier. I'd like to go to the satellite view. There's the sky map, and it really lays things out for you. That's the home right down there. You see Alderwood Avenue and Sandalwood. It is burning in that direction, but there's pretty good brush clearance. Let's come back off that. And we are seeing significantly less black smoke than we saw earlier. So there is some good news, but we've seen this so many times. You know, one moment it looks like they're making a lot of progress, and the next moment it just takes off. And the winds are pretty high today. The only good thing we have going for us is the fact that it's not thick, heavy brush in there, and there's real good brush clearance in between, say, Sandalwood and where the fire is burning. But let's see if we can, we can't see that little loom up in Newberry Park from here because of the smoke from this fire. It doesn't look too bad in Newbury Park, but it's south of where the Hill fire started, it looks to me. But things are looking much better, and you can see this, it's sort of sparse in here as far as the brush is concerned, a lot of grass, a lot of rocks, and they've really done a great job. They must have hit this with 5 or 6 different helicopters, and they're just pounding it. We'll pull out a little bit, David and Colleen, just to give you a little more perspective. You saw this a little earlier. You saw how bad it was, and now you see it's a lot of white smoke. So things are looking pretty good right now compared to what we saw just a few moments ago. We can't actually see that. If we tilt up and show them to the right, there's the Newbury Park area. Come back to this fire. We could try and get to the other side. Tilt down a little bit, push into the flame. Push down a little bit, down, there you go. The flames, Chad. Is that a super scooper? Oh yeah, both of them. That should be nice. We got a couple super scoopers coming around. Jay, did he say the evacuations were lifted in Calabasas? I did say him, in the press conference. Yeah. All right. We can always answer the other one. Okay, Box Canyon and Lake Manor. Nice, huh? Where are the super scoopers? You see them? They're waiting for an air attack? The 118 is closed at DeSoto, maybe? Topanga Canyon. Yeah, I don't know about hovering here. We keep moving around. If you keep orbiting a little bit, at least it gives me a chance to see it out my window. If you orbit a little, at least it gives me a chance to see it out my window from time to time, and I could sort of, you don't have to orbit fast, but if, then that way I can sort of get an idea of what's going on. Coming to the right, there's going to be a little flare up right there. Yeah, right there. All right. Yeah, I heard that. Nice drop. Where did the super scoopers go? Still out there holding? It's a good shot. What is that down there? That was that Aldenwood? Ardenwood. You can see the structure protection there. Not sure. Oh yeah, head in the wrong direction. I don't know, some knucklehead. Go to the right a little bit more. All those vehicles doing there, people trying to get out. That's Cooner. Keep going to the right. Oh, that's all the people that turned back around off the freeway. Okay. All right, we can go back. All right. What's that? All right. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, we'll probably have to head back to the west. It's up to 300 structures now, Jay? Is that what he just said? Okay. It's going to be a lot higher than that, huh? Is that a firefighter out there? Yeah. It's a photog. So we think too. I'm sorry. Say again, please. It's hard for me to hear you with this up. What were you saying, Chad? Oh, no. Yeah, let's just stick to business at hand here. Nice draw. Go, let's see, where are you at? Go left a little bit and tilt up. He's barely moving. What are you talking about? What's the issue here? Oh, Jesus Christ. Just go to that area I was talking about there. Right down in there, top of your screen. Did you see the black smoke? That area right in there. Right up to the houses. Come back out nice and slow to the freeway. Push into the flames right down there. I think they just got it on there, but they're still holding the super scoopers out there, huh? Are they waiting for air attack? Be out of fuel bound. REM. Okay. Come off sky map. I think it's not lined up too well right there. Oh, sorry about that. Not the wrong one up here. Well, who is that? We're right underneath us here. Who's that? Wow. What did you say? There's somebody up on the boulder? Oh, yeah, the dozer. Probably just responded, trying to figure out where to go. Open up a little bit and go to the right. It's just see where those homes are. Still down the hill there. Open up a little bit. Open up a little bit. Hold on to just the bottom of your screen. I think County's going to come in there with that helicopter and make a drop. What was your question, Jay? Are you seeing that? Okay, go ahead and look around at this. Okay, push in. No, it looks like a pretty small trailer. I don't know, maybe it's a horse trailer. It looked pretty small. I don't think there's any horses right in here. It's all residential. Watching. Those are firefighters. Go back to the flame for me to start. Can we go back? Are the super scoopers in? There you go. Great. Great shot. There should be another one, right? Right behind him. Is he coming? Is he on final? Open up a little bit, please. Open up. There you go. Pushing now. Nice. Yeah, David, I don't know if you saw that shot just a moment ago, but the Super Scoopers just made a drop here right along the 118 freeway. Now, this isn't far from Cooner. It's on the south side of the 118. The closure's on the 118. It is shut down eastbound at Yosemite, and it's shut down westbound at Topanga Canyon in Chatsworth. We'll push in. There's been a flare-up right here at the end of Ardenwood Avenue and Ardenwood Circle. There's been a lot of concern, but you do see the structure protection in place. They're firefighters from Ventura County are pretty much getting into this area. They are getting some people out. There's some concern here, but we'll open up with a wide shot. It was great. When the super scoopers came in, they fly in pairs. We had flame along that entire stretch of the freeway. They're just so effective. And now it's nothing but white smoke. So that was an extremely pinpoint and perfect drop that they made, and it really made a big difference as far as knocking down that wall of flames that was heading towards the homes. It got to coordinate that, and it took a while to get air attack to coordinate moving the helicopters out so the super scoopers could come in. But we had a wall of flames moving up along the side of the freeway there just a moment ago, and the super scoopers really helped out quite a bit with that. I want to go to SkyMap 7 and bring that up. It really shows you, the 118 is off a little bit there, but it shows you on Ardenwood Court, Ardenwood Circle, and there's Cooner. It gives you a good idea if we push in how close it is to some of those homes. Now, the residential area like this, they have pretty good brush clearance. We don't see brush right up to the homes, and they have a lot of structure protection in place. So that is certainly some good news there. We'll come off SkyMap 7, and we'll open up a little bit and give you a little perspective as we look to the west out over Simi Valley. So it started in the Santa Susana Pass, burned right along the freeway. That's the city of Simi Valley there, and up to the left side of your screen on the top was that little flare-up. You can barely see it right in there. That was Newberry Park. See that little area that started to take off? But they have a lot of structure protection, ground crews there as well. They were able to knock that down. So the big concern still is here in the Santa Susana Pass. Fortunately, you have the 101 open because the 118 is going to be shut down in both directions for some time. Santa Susana Pass Road's not going to work, and the 126 will be open for you. But besides that area, we'll push in one more time to the right there, Chad. That's the biggest concern, and I mentioned to you earlier that it's a lot of rocky terrain. It's not just thick, heavy brush. You see a lot of rocks in there. That has aided a little bit, and the winds appear to have died down just a little bit from what we saw a little over an hour ago. So we're looking fairly good right now, David and Colleen, compared to what we were seeing when we first got on the air. I think that's close to an hour ago, and we're going to see another county ship make a drop, and boy, the helicopters have really made a huge difference. I think so. About an hour. They're going to knock this down, though. All right. All right, sounds good. I'm sorry, say again? Okay, yeah, we're turning. We're trying to get to it. The Super Scoopers go north. Do you think they're going to Castaic? No, nice. I see them out there. It's great. Open up for me for a moment. Where is that? Oh, yeah, I see it. I see it. Okay. There's a sky crane going back in. We got a city ship right down below us. I know, too much smoke. Let's go back to some. They certainly are, but the Super Scoopers were really effective, and right now they're at Castaic getting more water. It doesn't take them long at all, and they'll be back here making another couple drops. I want to open up wide, though, and just give you a little idea. You talked about those mandatory evacuations. Off to the top of your screen, a little bit to the left, is Box Canyon. You can see why you have to evacuate an area like that. Off to the right a little bit more and up on the other side of the Santa Susana Pass. It's because some of those homes nestled up in there, if it heads that way, you just won't be able to get out. We'll come back down towards the 118. Also, if you look at the smoke, when we first were over this, we had this smoke just taking off out towards the west. Now it's sort of smoldering in the Santa Susana Pass, and that is great news because we just don't see the active flame approaching those homes any longer. And right there is the key. I mean, 2,800 gallons of water. That's phenomenal. And there's a golf course right up of Yosemite. They can fill up very quickly. They can come in here and make the drop. And they're really just concerned about it going further south towards Box Canyon, I think. We'll come back out and show you. And when we tilt the camera to the right, we're looking west. There's the 118 closed in both directions. There's that residential area. There was some concern, but there was a real good brush clearance. There also was a lot of structure protection in place. There's a lot of fire units down there. We'll go ahead and push in a little bit and bring up SkyMap 7. That'll give you some of the streets. If you're watching, Ardenwood is right on the edge there, Swindon Avenue. It's moving its way right down in there, but it's mostly white smoke. And as I mentioned, the wind has died down a little bit, so that certainly has helped. I think it's about 15 to 20 acres up in that range right now. It's moving very slowly. I think this residential area is going to be okay because it's easy to defend. And as I mentioned earlier, the Super Scoopers are back inbound, and it's just made such a huge effect to have those two aircrafts drop right along the freeway. It went from active flame and black smoke to mostly the white smoke that you see there now. Once you go back to where that thick, heavy smoke is, I think that's our best bet. So is anything in there? Go to the right a little bit, right along the freeway. It certainly does, David. And one interesting fact, you see how the smoke is going over the freeway? If you were with us earlier, the wind has actually shifted. All of this flame was moving towards those homes, and it was all to the south side of the 118. The wind has shifted now a little bit to the north, which is real unusual when you are in a Santa Ana wind condition. But that's what happens in the Santa Susana Pass. The winds will be a little different on the San Fernando Valley side than they are on the Simi Valley side. Now, that's just good news because it's smoldering in here. Those high winds, I mean, we were getting hammered when we first got up here into the Santa Susana Pass. They have died down a little bit. That with the air support, if we just give you a wide shot and a little perspective, it looks a lot better than it did. Now, you can see that rocky terrain. That really helps. We'll push back into that helicopter and give you an idea just how effective they are when they go and make a drop. I think that might be a county ship. But right along that ridge line, they continue to make drops. Every little flare-up, they'll hit that. And certainly helps that there's a lot of rocky terrain in there and not just thick, heavy brush. But it's only light grass for the most part next to these homes. And you can see the fire units, Ventura County there. They're lined up. They have a lot of firefighters on the scene. I think this neighborhood is okay right here in Simi, but we've seen what happens when the wind shifts, when things change. But if we give you one more wide shot here, I think the 118 will be shut down for some time. Once they close it, they want to keep it closed for a while just in case it flares up. And that's the entire portion of the fire. And for a while there, we really saw heavy flames moving towards those homes. Right now, it's calmed down quite a bit, and we do see the super scoopers back inbound to make another couple drops. So things look encouraging right now compared to what we saw 45 minutes to an hour ago. There's a great drop, the Sky Crane. Yeah, he just went through there. I think he flew out of our shot, you know. He made a drop right along the 118 freeway just a moment ago. He just made the drop. So there's a golf course, if you're familiar with Simi Valley, right up the 118 at Yosemite. So they got access to water very, very quickly. And they'll clear the helicopters out, and then the super scoopers will come in. And they're really effective on a fire like this, because when a fire is laid down on a line, like right along the 118, it can drop all of that water in a really good spot. But we'll open up once again, and it was interesting to see, you know, come down to the right a little bit, how the wind had kind of shifted. It was blowing it to the north towards us. Now it's kind of shifted a little bit more, and it's blowing it towards the west. But you can see that when a fire breaks out along a freeway next to a residential area like this area is pretty defendable unless you have really high winds. Then all bets are off because you get spot fires. Right now, since the wind has calmed down and the aircrafts have hit most of the fuel, things look pretty good. But you mentioned it, David. I don't think the 118 will be open for a long time. Santa Susana Pass Road, I'm sure that's going to be shut down and will not be opened. That'll be even closed longer, I believe, because it's harder to defend. So you have the 126 and the 101. Thankfully, the 101 is open. A lot of smoke here, not much black smoke. We don't think any structures are caught on fire at this point, and we do believe with the resources on scene, without a big shift in the wind, they should be able to contain this. Now, if it gets up in a box canyon, that's a different story altogether. And take a look at the two Super Scoopers. They're invaluable. They're based at Van Nuys Airport. They fly in pairs. One will come in and make a drop, and the other one right behind it. They went up to Castaic to get another load of water. And when they come down here and make the drop, you're going to see a big difference. You will see that we'll probably lose all of the active flame, and they really are so key in protecting the houses. Yeah. Oh boy, we have another fire over here in Chatsworth. We're going to go to this. David and Colleen, if you're with me, go ahead and tilt up and come off. It doesn't look like much. Keep going. Push in right there. It could be a home. Bottom of your screen. That's not good. This is going to be Chatsworth, and this is right off of Lurline. Okay, come back to the Super Scoopers. Let's get that drop, and we can talk about it if they want to go to that later. Yeah, it's burning in brush next to a home. Were they further to the west? They're further to the west. Open up. They should be coming into your frame right now. Drop on the north side. Where's the other one? It's interesting, they're dropping on the north side. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're worried about. You know, I talked about the fact that the wind shifted. Everything was south of the 118. But what happens is that 118 freeway is such a good fire break. But if it does jump and those winds do come to the north a little bit more, then you have a whole different perspective because you don't have a line to defend. So what they're thinking right now is the last thing we want is this fire to move to the north side of the 118 and get up towards some of this ranches up here and some of those other developments. So that's why they did that. They did that as a precaution because you can see how the wind has shifted. All of the wind was going to the south and to the west, south of the 118 towards those homes. Now you can see it's out of the south to the north, which is really unusual in a Santa Ana wind condition. So it's hard to say how things will progress into the afternoon. That certainly helped them get a handle on the fire, but also the concern is that if it jumps to the north side, then they just have more of an exposure to try and protect. We also saw a little fire break out in the Calabasas area, and it looks like that got knocked down. Excuse me, that was in the Chatsworth area, not far from here. It was a brush fire next to a home, and they hopped on that very quickly. It didn't turn out to be much. But I tell you, when you're up in the air and you see a little fire like that break out, your heart misses a beat because we've got this one. We've got Newberry Park, got a little bit of a flare up in Malibu, some smoldering around the Calabasas area. And goodness, the resources are spread so thin, we see another fire break out, and it really, really gives us a moment of pause. Great shot. Hold on. Could you tell if they're going back to Castaic? It looks like they're going back to Castaic, Jay. Things are looking pretty good here. Well, David, it looks pretty good. Every moment that goes by, it looks a little better. For a while there, we were really concerned about those homes on the bottom of your screen. We'll come out, give you a wide shot, and show you the entire burn area. I think it's about 15, maybe 20 acres. It started right along the 118 freeway, almost at the top of the Santa Susana Pass by Rocky Peak Road. We didn't see a vehicle there that might have caught on fire, so we don't have any indication yet how this fire was started. But when it moved up over that rocky terrain, that's where we were over at first, and it really started to take off. If we open up out of this shot, though, you can see it's just smoldering in here. Originally, the wind was howling out of the east to the west. It was blowing all that smoke right down over that community of Simi off of Cooner, and we couldn't even see the homes. Now you can see it has died down quite a bit. All right, sounds good. Head back to Van Nuys. No problem. Okay, yeah, as long as we depart by 3:30, we're fine. All right. We need to be in the air by 3:30 though, just to make sure they know that. No, I mean unless they lifted the evacuation orders in Calabasas, we haven't been able to get back in. I'd like to go to some clothes. I'm getting ripe.